Welcome to Chemistry Lover, and here I am going to start a new video series, and this will be about the chemistry of carbonyl compounds. So carbonyl is a very important functional group in organic chemistry, and we will see a lot of interesting reactions and reactivity throughout this video series. So this is the introductory video about carbonyl chemistry, and here we will have an overview of the reactions of carbonyl compounds and the reactivity pattern. So first let us look into the carbonyl group in detail. So this is how a carbonyl group normally looks like. Okay, now if you have a aldehyde, you will have hydrogen over here, and on the other side you can have hydrogen, or you can have a R group. So here I put some R group, and in this R group also you can have hydrogen atoms. So here you can have hydrogen atoms like this, 1 or 2 hydrogen atoms, and then you can put R group like this. So this is a typical aldehyde, and in case of a typical ketone, you generally have in both side you have R groups, right? So this is a general representation of ketone, and this is the general representation of aldehyde. Now if we look into this particular compound or into this particular functional group in detail, we will find out what are the reactive centers in this particular functional group. So the first functional group which we can point out is the carbonyl carbon atom in both cases. So this is the carbonyl carbon atom in both cases, and this is the electrophilic center of the molecule. So this center is actually electrophilic, right? So this center is electrophilic because this oxygen it drags electron from this carbon in both cases, and that makes a delta plus charge over this carbon, which makes this center electrophilic, and any nucleophile can easily attack on this carbon atom. In case of both aldehyde and ketone, any nucleophile can attack. So the first thing is the electrophilic center, the carbonyl carbon atom. So this is the main reactive center of any carbonyl compound. Now in case of aldehyde, you can see the presence of this hydrogen atom, which is directly attached to the carbonyl carbon, makes it different from ketone. In case of ketone, we don't have this kind of hydrogen atom, and we will see that this hydrogen atom is actually a reducing hydrogen atom. And a very simple example of this is Cannizzaro reaction. In case of Cannizzaro reaction, you will see that this hydrogen goes as hydride, which is reducing hydrogen or reducing hydride. So this is a special feature of aldehyde which is not present in the ketone or any other carbonyl functionality. Now the third reactive center is the alpha hydrogen atom. So in case of both aldehyde and ketone, if you have this alpha hydrogen atom, so this position is alpha, and these are called alpha hydrogen atoms. So these alpha hydrogen atoms have a special feature, and that is they are acidic. So both in case of aldehyde and ketone, this alpha hydrogen atom, they are acidic. Why? Because you can see, if you consider any carbonyl functional group and this is your alpha hydrogen atom, so when your base will take this proton, you will have a carb anion like this, and it can be stabilized through resonance into this carbonyl group, and that makes this alpha hydrogen atoms acidic. So these are the three important areas in a carbonyl functionality which are reactive, and we will see the reactions of carbonyl functional group based on these particular areas. So now let us see what are the important reaction of a carbonyl group. So we will see the reactions of carbonyl. Okay, so we will see the reactions of carbonyl. So the first category of reaction is the reaction of carbonyl carbon. So the reaction of carbonyl carbon, because it is the electrophilic center of a carbonyl group and it is the most reactive part, and we can again categorize these reactions of carbonyl carbon atom into different classes. So what they are? So they are, the first one is the nucleophilic addition. So nucleophilic addition to the carbonyl carbon atom, which we can show like this. So let's say this is your carbonyl functional group. Your nucleophile can add on this carbonyl group to give you this kind of intermediate. Now what will be the future of this or fate of this intermediate? That depends on several factors, what the Nu is and all other things, but this is the addition product, right? Now the second reaction is the substitution, attack on the carbonyl functional group but substitution, and that is when you have a carbonyl group like, or carbonyl compounds like acid chloride or ester, then when your nucleophile attacks on this carbonyl functional group, it actually substitutes this chlorine as Cl minus or any other nucleophile if they are present, it will go, and we will show the mechanism later, but this is the product of this reaction. This is the substitution reaction, and this is the second important class of reaction which involves the carbonyl functional group and the carbonyl carbon atom. And the third reaction is the substitution of oxygen, the carbonyl oxygen atom, and that is when you have the reactions like reduction reaction. Let's say you reduce it with lithium aluminum hydride, so basically you will put 2 hydrogen atoms in place of this oxygen. So this is the reduction reaction and it involves the substitution of carbonyl oxygen. So these are the 3 important class of reactions which involves the carbonyl carbon atom. Now the second class of reaction is the reaction of alpha hydrogen or the enol or enolate formation. So alpha hydrogen, we already have seen that they can be easily taken out and we will have this enolate. So this enolate now can react on several electrophiles to give you different kind of reactions, and we will see it later. So this is the second class of reaction, and also this involves all the aldol condensation, Claisen ester and all other reactions. So there will be a lot of named reactions, we will see them. And the third category is the reaction of aldehyde hydrogen atom, and the simple example is the Cannizzaro reaction. In case of Cannizzaro reaction, one of the aldehyde will be oxidized to acid and another will be reduced to alcohol. So these are the 3 classes of reactions which involve the carbonyl functionality, right? Now let us see what are the important orbitals or what are the frontier molecular orbitals which are there in carbonyl functional group and how they participate in the reaction. So the main molecular orbital which is there in the carbonyl functional group and which is responsible for all of its reactions is the pi star orbital on the carbonyl group. So this is the pi star orbital which has greater coefficient on carbon atom. You can see the larger lobe is on the carbonyl group on the carbon atom, and smaller coefficient is on the oxygen atom. So this is the large lobe on the carbon atom. On oxygen atom you have small coefficient. So this is the pi star orbital, the empty pi star orbital, and this is the LUMO of the carbonyl functionality in case of any carbonyl functionality, and your nucleophile HOMO will react with this LUMO to give you all the addition reactions and the subsequent substitution or any other reactions. So this is the main molecular orbital which we will revisit again and again when we will discuss about the reactions of carbonyl functionality. Now based on that, let us see what is the reactivity order of different carbonyl functional groups. So if we group down all the carbonyl functionality, we will see that it is the acid chloride which is most reactive, and then it is aldehyde. Now you can put formaldehyde also, and it will be around of same reactivity as the acid chloride, so we put it here. And then you will have any normal ketone, then we will have ester, then we will have amide, and finally we will have the acid. Okay, so acid is the least reactive, so this is how the reactivity increases. So from left to right the reactivity increases, and if we actually see it, so you can see this acid chloride is the most reactive, or you can say formaldehyde is the most reactive, and acid or carboxylic acid is the least reactive. So what are the factors on which the reactivity of carbonyl group depends on? So two factors which are responsible for deciding the reactivity of any carbonyl functional group, and that is the electrophilicity of the carbonyl carbon atom, that is how much electron deficient it is. More electron deficient the carbonyl carbon atom will be, more reactive it will be. And the second factor is the steric hindrance around this carbonyl functional group. So as you increase the steric crowding around the carbonyl functional group or around the carbonyl carbon atom, the reactivity will reduce. So for example, if you have a simple dimethyl ketone, and then if you consider the reactivity of it with methyl ethyl ketone, you will see that this dimethyl ketone will be more reactive compared to methyl ethyl ketone, because in case of methyl ethyl ketone you will have larger ethyl group. And the reason is clear, because when you do the reaction of carbonyl functional group, what happens? Your nucleophile attacks. So this is the general step of any carbonyl functional group reaction, and you will have this kind of intermediate. So you can see this nucleophile, this O minus, this R, and another R. So from a trigonal center you are going to a tetrahedral center, so you are actually increasing the number of atoms around the central carbon atom. So in this case you can see 3 atoms are there, and their separation is 120 degree, but on the intermediate you have 4 groups and their separation is only 109 degrees. So you can see the steric hindrance actually increases in the transition state and also in the product, or in this case in the intermediate. So that's why as the steric crowding increases on the carbonyl functional group, on the carbonyl carbon atom, the reactivity decreases. So these are the two factors. One is the electron deficiency of the carbonyl carbon atom, and another one is the steric crowding. Now how the electron so how steric hindrance plays the role we have seen. Now let us see how the electron deficiency plays the role. So if we consider two things, for example simple ketone and or aldehyde, and if we compare it with the acid chloride, what happens in acid chloride? So in acid chloride or any other compound like that, for example ester or acid, so we can generally represent it by X. So this X may be oxygen, then it will be ester or acid. It can be nitrogen, then it will be amide, or if it is chlorine, bromine, iodine, then it will be acid chloride, acid bromide, like that. So now in this case two effects are there. One is the plus R effect, like this. So this is how it actually push electron on the carbonyl functional on the carbonyl carbon atom, and that actually makes this carbonyl carbon atom less electron deficient or more electron rich. So it actually reduces the reactivity. So it reduces the reactivity, and the second effect is the inductive effect. So X atoms, it may be nitrogen, oxygen or chlorine, it will have minus I effect. So it increases the reactivity. So two factors are there. One reduces the reactivity, another increases the reactivity. So to decide what will be the final effect or what will be the final conclusion, we have to see which effect is more important. Now in case of acid chloride, if you consider acid chloride, so chlorine has strong minus I effect than plus R effect. So plus R effect of chlorine is not that much strong because the overlap is not good here. Chlorine has 3p orbital whereas carbon has 2p orbital, so overlap is not good, and that's why plus R effect is less efficient here. Minus I effect is more important, and that's why in this case this increasing effect, increasing reactivity effect is more important, and that's what makes acid chloride most reactive in this series. Whereas in case of acid carboxylic acid or acid amide or ester, it is oxygen or nitrogen or O minus, and for them plus R effect is more important than minus I effect, and that actually reduces the reactivity, and that's why carboxylic acid is the least reactive, and so is the ester or amide, right? Now we can also explain these by considering the molecular orbitals. So in case of X atom, what happens? So if you have this X atom, so this is the p orbital, filled p orbital of X atom, and this is the empty pi star orbital of carbonyl group. So if we draw it here, so this is the energy axis, and we have this pi star orbital over here, whereas this is the filled non-bonding p orbital. And now if they overlap, what happens? So we will have two molecular orbitals, new molecular orbitals, and these will be filled with electrons. This is now empty. So this is our new LUMO, which is the combination of non-bonding orbital and the pi star orbital. Now you can see it is clear that the energy of the new LUMO is higher than the energy of the normal pi star orbital, and if you make the energy of LUMO higher, it will be less reactive because your nucleophile will have to travel more higher energy transition state to do the reaction, right? So that's how it makes the carbonyl group less reactive. So we have seen the reactivity series, and here I will end this video. In the next video of this series, I will discuss about the addition reaction of carbonyl functional group. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. Also let me know in the comment section and share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching.